Good morning. Good morning. I don't forgot the baby diapers. How you doing this morning? I'm real early, right? I'm on time. I'm on schedule. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Beautiful. Good morning, Miss Lysander. Good morning, Lysander. I be messing your name up real bad. Good morning. Good morning. How everybody doing? So my day gonna go like this. So today when I get off of work, I got to go drop my grandbabies off to my mom so she can watch them. Then I got to go back to the graveyard or cemetery. I don't know. All of it sound crazy to me. But I got to go back today to clean off my son thing and put some stuff down because the bench, I had to remove my bench yesterday and all the little bricks things that I had because for some reason they don't want us now putting that type of stuff down. So I'm thinking it's because when they're cleaning the rocks and all the different things, when things that be left out there, ceramics, things break, glass. So it's a lot of stuff, debris, and I guess during hurricane season, a lot of stuff be flying and stuff like that. So we have to till today to remove it. So instead of them removing it, thank you, Terry, appreciate that. The disclaimer: fair use is permitted by copyright. No, I'm reading the wrong one. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. But yeah, so I had to go out there and remove it. So I did it myself. So that way I know when I remove it. Because when people be doing things, I don't know how their attitude may be when they're moving things. But I didn't really have a lot of stuff out there other than the bench and his little the grave blanket thing. So I'm gonna go back out there because my little cousin, he has one too, but my aunt, she doesn't live here. So I'm gonna try to go back because I got to get my gloves because I had the kids with me yesterday, so I can't do nothing with them because they be in the way. Good morning, it's all good. Tony, good morning. Let's beyond measures, good morning. Letitia, good morning. Good morning, everybody. So that's what my day probably going to be like today. And another thing, I don't know if you all seen this story. It's a story that's been taking place in Missouri. This mother, her name LaShawn, but it was a 18-year-old black female, an 18-year-old Asian girl, and 11-year-old Asian little girl, and the two girls was good friends, and the Asian girl, it was her little sister, the 11-year-old. The incident happened on the 15th. It was a that very sad story. I was in and out the story because it was very heartbreaking. to see the mother and the family just out there. So allegedly the three girls, they love the wildlife. They love outside. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Tony, for that. So apparently the three, they love the wildlife, and they all went fishing. So they showed where they were, like on some rocks fishing. So I'm thinking the smallest girl went out in the water, but I guess the water wasn't deep, but I guess the current. And I guess as the little girl went further out, the current took one of them in the water. So I'm thinking it's the youngest girl that went in the water. The sister went behind her in the water to help save the younger sister. And the 18-year-old, the black female, she went in to help. So all three of them got swept in the currents. And there two of them, their bodies got the black girl and the youngest girl body got recovered yesterday, and the 18-year-old Asian girl, she got recovered a day before. And just to hear that mama scream when the police came up to her, and she just wanted to know. And the mom the family was going there every day, trying to figure out, waiting on their bodies to be recovered. But yesterday, the one girl body got recovered along with the other little girl. And to hear that mother scream and cry, and just, oh my God, I remember that scream. It's just a scream, that an unbearable scream, an unbearable hurt. And just to hear this mother crying out and just pleading, and knowing that her child is never, coming back home. That's the worst feeling. That's a family's worst nightmare. Like I said, of any tragedy, that things that can happen, and knowing that your child is never coming home. And the mom stated, I could hear her in the background saying that when her daughter left, the last words that her daughter said to her was, "Mama, I love you." She said, but her telling her that she loved her, she would have never thought that that was the last time that she would see or hear her daughter. And she was begging and pleading them that once they pulled the daughter out the water, she didn't care. She wanted to hold her daughter for the last time. And the thing about that, when that mom said she wanted to hold her child for the last time, I couldn't do that. With me, it made me think about when I got to the crime scene of my son. It was late, because it was late at night, like 12 a.m. when I got my call. And the crime scene was already taped off when I got there. But it's just a mother's love, that a mother don't care. She don't care about how horrific that the scene may be. But my situation with my son, I couldn't even touch or feel him for the last time. I didn't get that opportunity to touch and hold him for the last time, because, they say it could have disturbed the evidence and things like that, and being able to touch my child. But I don't think me hugging my son for the last time would have been a good idea, because of the nature of the scene and how it happened, because my child was shot in his head. So he probably brain matter, all that splattered, So I don't think I would want those memories of my child, of him. And just to hear that mother say that, it's so much be linked in and tied into things that you don't get an opportunity to do when you're a mother or a father, and when you have your child, and when you're there to hold them for the first time. But then when you don't have the opportunity to hold them for that last time, So that was something that kind of bothered me, through my journey of, going through my process of healing with my son, of things that I didn't get to hold him for the last time. And just that mom, when I heard her say, "I just want to hold my baby for the last time," she's never coming back. That mother didn't care about how her child looked, when she came out that water, because them babies been in that water for about 2 weeks. They've been in the water about 2 weeks. And the mom, she was like, even in the body bag, she just was saying, I just want to hold my baby. I want to hold my baby. She said she just want to wrap her arms around her daughter and just being able to hold her for the last time. So I actually looked at the video and just sat through it and just like, wow. Cause I can understand, the hurt, the pain, the scream, and just sympathizing with God and just asking God why they never coming back. So I understood that mom, and then I seen some comments was like, why did she go live? They was like, well, the mama need to cut the cameras. But the mother didn't want to cut the cameras. She didn't want the cameras cut. She wanted the world to see her raw emotions, for people to really see. That's her story. That's that mom's story. And like I say, if a person ain't never been through nothing, ain't been there, done that, you can't tell a person how to go through something. You can't, in that moment, you can't tell them how to feel. That's that mom. She wanted to share her story with the world of, and maybe that's how the mother felt her strength. The family felt that strength, and to see the prayers that were going up for them, and people standing in the gap. Because I've been in and out the story, sending up prayers and, not really having words to say. But I know, like I wrote on there yesterday, from a mother to another mother, I send prayers and strength your way, and that God, get that mom through that. But I feel like the mom, she had the opportunity to allow herself to process, but it still haven't hit the mom yet. Because now she was dealing with finding her child's body. Now the bodies of all 3 young girls have been recovered. So I think the family, that was their biggest focus. But like I said, we all, just send up those prayers to the family. But it's a very hurtful story. Oh, thank you, Lena. I have another top that I'm putting on, but I can. It's a school shirt, so I can't put that on in the camera. So I actually just put this top on just to come do my live, but I'm actually gonna change out my tops. And I know, like I said, we're all broken. We all are broken, but at some point, everybody going through their own process of healing. We got to all go through our processes of healing, and we just can't stay broken, because God don't want us to stay broken. And like he said, he will fix the brokenhearted. And yesterday I was, reading on here, it's so many broken people. A lot of people are so broken, but some people don't allow themselves to heal properly. That's why we see it playing out through this social media with this saga thing, with hurt people just want to hurt other people because they make a choice not to choose. Because when you allowing God to heal your broken heart, there are a lot of stipulations come with it. Because when God is healing you, He's healing you of a lot of things that he's gonna heal you. He's gonna expose things that you won't hidden. You got doors that you close, and you telling God, I don't want you going behind this door. You can have door number 2, but door number 9, no, I don't want you touching door 9. So when people don't understand, when you're going through a true healing, God gonna deal with you in so many areas of your life. He's gonna expose so many hidden areas of your life, doors that you don't bolted, changed up, and God say, I'm coming to break the chains, I'm breaking the bolts, I'm kicking the doors down. You telling God, no, Lord, I want you to deal with door number 1, and God said, no, I want door number 10. I want this door, because God know how to heal you. Because God got to go to the crevices of your heart and get the things that you don't want to be exposed. And those are the hidden things. Like even with myself, when I was going through with the preparation and healing, going through my healing process, going through life without my son, not being in my life, there were so many things that God brought to the forefront of my life, things that I didn't want to deal with at the time, certain hurt, childhood hurt, father abandonment from my father. It wasn't that I was abandoned, but it felt like father abandonment because of as I got older, it felt like, dang, my dad started another family, and it seems like, where do I fit in my dad's life now? So I dealt with a lot of that as a father's first daughter. So I dealt with a lot of that because I was his first child, and then after that he remarried and he started having other children. So I felt like it was father abandonment from a child. I felt like my dad didn't love me because as a child, a lot of things I didn't understand. So even in the midst of me, dealing with the hurt in my heart with my son, God still came and dealt with that abandonment that I dealt with as a young girl with my father, and many other things that I had to deal with. A lot of other places in my heart where I was broken, with things of resentment and all other type of stuff. Whatever I dealt with, in my childhood, teenage years, and different things. There were a whole lot of things that, God dealt with. So I'm just here to tell you all, even if you lost someone, and God gonna deal with other things. So, because what we have to understand, even in the midst of us losing loved ones, there were still things that were going on in our life unexpectedly that we didn't have a chance or opportunity to deal with, because now something else don't happen. So when you're trying to deal with this, then something else gonna happen. So all this different stuff we have suppressed in our life, and that we didn't get a chance to deal with it. We didn't get a chance to bring it to the forefront, and we didn't allow ourselves a chance. We processing it, but we didn't allow, because it's like something always going on. Something always happens. So it's like one thing at a time. So that's what I mean, that when we're broken, but God still has to heal all the brokenness, all the shattered pieces in our life, that God has to come and put those things together, even in the midst of you dealing with your losses. Because you're going to have other things that you may be dealing with, and then it's going to be something that may trigger that, and then it's going to trigger every other thing in your life that's going to remind you of something is going on. So it may be something that I didn't deal with correctly, and something may trigger that, and then once it triggered that, it's going to set everything else off. Like me, my emotions with my son, or other, it's going to remind me of other things. So now I'm having these setbacks, and now I'm like, well, dang, I thought I was 50 feet ahead of this situation. Now I feel like I don't got knocked back again. And that's what it is. We constantly trying to process things that have occurred in our life. But I'm here to tell you, God wants to heal our broken hearts. And we can't stay broken. We cannot stay broken. We can't allow ourselves to continue to be broken. Because when we're broken, we will lash out. We will hurt other people when we don't intentionally try to hurt them, because there's something that we're dealing with, and nobody don't know that we're dealing with that underlying hurt that we're dealing with, and we're dealing with these things. But we can't stay that way. But staying broken is a choice. As we see this saga playing out, this saga went from a lie to all different other stuff that's going on. You have the people just everything. They throwing the kitchen sink at people because they didn't allow themselves to properly heal. So now you got all these broken people that jumped on the bandwagon of a lie, and now they're just out there spilling their hurt, throwing their hurt, pouring their hurt, distributing their hurt everywhere, because they don't want to deal with it. They don't want to face their hurt. They don't want to accept the hurt. They don't want to allow themselves to process it, accept it, and then come allow God to heal all this brokenness and all this stuff that they have been through from their childhood up until their adulthood. So you have adults still ranting and raving like little kids, because the little kid in them is still suffering. The child in them that was abused or neglected is still raging and fighting to heal, fighting to be free, and they're not allowing that broken child to be hurt. And they're comfortable there. They're content there. So they said, I prefer to stay hurt. I prefer, like a numbness. They want to numb the pain I'm going to deal with my pain this way. I'm going to deal with my pain by dragging the next person or spilling hatred onto somebody else because I don't want to deal with it right now. I'm comfortable and I'm content and I don't got time to deal with this matter, and they don't want to deal with it. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. If we pay attention to everything that I'm saying, this is what's going on with people. This is what's going on, and they don't want to deal with it. For real, low key, you got a point. Open topic. How you doing, Matthew? Good morning. Yoso, good morning, Matthew. Open topic. Shanta, good morning. I see we got some temper. Good morning. Latte, good morning. Sabrina, good morning. Hayes for the win, good morning. Comes bursting in like cold egg. Girl, that shirt really cute. It's like basic. It has light blue color. It's beautiful. Oh, thank you. I have another blue shirt. Thank you, Temper. I have another blue shirt that I'm putting on, but I can't because it's a logo that's a representation of, so I don't want that shirt on camera. But I'm changing. Losing loved one leaves you in a zone, and keeping busy was numbing. And know what? Keeping busy. And I wouldn't per se say that we want to numb the pain, because I feel like when we numb it, and once like when they give you something to numb something, and once that numbness wear off, the pain is still there. And I think, like, in a way, but even in the midst of us, losing them, we have to still be productive and active in our life, but we still have to trust God, and we still have to present, like we present and casting our cares to God, to say, I need you to heal my broken heart. I need you to, heal my spirit. My spirit is all out of whack. I'm all out of whack. And today I don't want to deal with this. I don't know how to properly process this. Because there's no manual to when you losing anyone, especially the trauma, like with that mother and that family that had to wait 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Their children in the water. They got to wait 2 weeks till that body do whatever it's going to do. Allow this body to come to surface. And it took 2 weeks. And I couldn't imagine. I lost my son to gun violence. But God, that mama going to that river every day, looking and searching for her child body, waiting on her baby body to come out that water, and really not even knowing if the body would be recovered, that's devastating. That's devastating. And when you think your situation is bad, and that's why it's so good. And when people get the strength to tell their story, and I feel like God gave that woman, that mother, some strength. Baby, I couldn't say. I know that assignment couldn't have been for me. Because God said he will not put no more on you than you can bear. But just to see God's strength and his power exude through a parent when it comes to their child, no matter what. And God gave that mama the strength of the strength of an ox. And that mom, when she finally got her baby and know that her baby body was out that water, it was like the weight of the world fell off of this mother. But yet this mother still got other stages that she got to go through. Now, my baby out the water. Now I got to face reality that this is really going on. Now, when you watch her story, once the baby came out, you can hear the mama, my baby never coming home. So now the mama trying to process, like, my baby is really gone. This what you can hear the mama saying, my baby is really gone. So now all these emotions running through this mama that she trying to process that her child is never coming home. And I went through that process and like, dang, I can't believe. And sometimes it'll hit me like, dang, Angelo really not coming home. Like, Angelo really didn't knock on the door. Sometimes when I come home and me and my family, we walking in the house, and I be thinking about Angelo like, dang, my baby really not here. He's really not here. Good morning, Spicy Brown. Good morning. And it's like that reality don't really like kick in. But even in the midst of our brokenness and all of that, we cannot stay broken. We can't stay broken. I can't stay broken. I don't want to be broken. Because when you're broken and when you're faced with it, it just feels like, and that each and every one of us, myself and you, we've all don't experience some type of brokenness in our life. It just feels like somebody just took something and put it in your heart and just ripped your heart. It just feel like, because really the heart is like flesh. In the Bible, it talk about the flesh like when two entwine. So it's like a ripping and a tearing of your heart. That's not a good. And your heart is bleeding. Your heart bleed. It's like that brokenness. But only God only God can bring you through it. No matter the severity of that, even with that mama, you can hear her support system in the background. You can tell that somebody know God, because you can hear him say, "Tell the Lord thank you." And it may seem the craziest when you going through and you hear somebody saying, "Tell the Lord thank you." You may say, "This person don't lost their mind, telling me to tell Lord thank you." But when you can praise God in the midst of your pain, when you can give God all the glory in the midst of it, and crazy as it may sound, you're going to need all that strength. But even in the midst of that, you say, "Lord, I thank you. Lord, I still praise you. Lord, I still give you, I still magnify you. I still give you all the glory. Lord, I still trust you with this. Lord, even when I don't see my way, even when I don't know how. I don't know how I'm going to get through it. Lord, I don't know how I'm going to make it. But Lord, with you on my side, I know I'm going to get through this." And it may seem the craziest, even in your most vulnerable, weakest moment. And that's when God can do his best work. When you're weak, he's strong. And that's what God want to do. He want to show his glory. He want to manifest. He want to house his glory. And he can only do that if you're willing. You have to be a willing vessel. Don't try to figure it out. Don't try to understand it, because it's beyond your human understanding. So when you're dealing with God from a spiritual perspective, it's all spiritual. So don't try to figure it out. Don't try to do it in your strength. And when I hear people say, I'm trying to be strong. Stop trying to be strong. Stop letting people tell you, "Oh, you gotta be strong." No, you do not. Because if they're not experiencing your pain, they cannot tell you how to be strong. Even though they mean well, but they don't understand the severity of your pain. Only person that understands the severity of your pain is God. I don't understand the severity of your pain. I'm just giving you my testimony. I'm just giving you, get the grasshoppers out. I'm just telling you all my testimony of how I went through, and how I'm still going through. It's not the end of the road for me. I'm still going through. I still have to deal with my mental capacity when it comes to the losing of my son. It may look like, well, you doing good and you did. I'm still on a journey, y'all. I'm still fighting the good fight of faith. I haven't arrived. I'm still fighting. I'm still on a journey. And people be like, "You so strong." You know where my strength come from? My strength come from me doing what I do now. Helping other people, being there for other people, keeping myself busy, giving a kind word, uplifting somebody when they're down, when they're broken, and embracing them where they at when they're going through, sending comforting words. That's where your strength comes from. That's where your empowerment comes from. That's how you're gonna get through. That's how when people say, "Oh, you so strong," you'll be like, "I ain't strong." This how I'm strong. And you'll just go to telling your story. You'll just go to telling your testimony. And that's why the enemy wanna distract each and every one of us from the very thing that matters. And that's our calling, to spread the good news. The enemy want us to be distracted with so many other things. And there's so much in each and every one of us. And I know we all have our stories, we all have our platforms, and we all can talk about a whole lot of things. And I know that there's a lot of good things in us that we could, because you never know who may need to hear your story, or just sharing your story, or being transparent with your life. Because you got people that are afraid to tell their life, or they tell their story, but yet at the end of the day, they tell it from a way to hurt people or diminish people, because they don't want to heal. But like I said, we cannot stay broken. I can't stay broken, and you can't stay broken. Thank you, Tony. We cannot stay broken. You can't stay where you are. And even telling your story, I'm not saying you got to get on here and just tell all your business. That's not what I'm saying. You don't have to get on here telling all your business. You don't have to come here and say things. You can just see somebody going through something and just share your testimony. And when you share your testimony, and when those words of comfort going forth, you're going to be like, dang, that was for me. When I be encouraging other people, and when something come back to me, what I said to somebody, I be like, dang, girl, that was for you. You talking to yourself. Because when you encouraging other people, you encouraging yourself. Thank you, Freaky Trio. Thank you. Good morning, Ramona. You encouraging yourself. You're uplifting yourself. Thank you. That's what it is. And that's what it be. And I feel good, because me coming here, telling my story, the month of April is just a month that I have to really get through, the month of April, because I lost my son a day after his 18th birthday. So I love, sharing my story, and, I love, giving people insight on who I really am, to be transparent. I have a goofy side. I got a thug outside. You get what I'm saying? But this the real. I'm real all around the board. I'm real. I have a giggly side, a goofy side. But it's a time and a place for everything. And I love to share my story about my son. I want the world to know, Angelo, when I talk about my son, I want everybody to feel like they knew him. I want everybody to see a mother who experienced a loss 19 years ago, but I'm still running my race. I'm still fighting the good fight of faith. We have, families coming here, opening up, telling their story about losing their children. Had a father on here, Harold. We're going to keep Harold. I haven't seen him come through the chat this morning, but we're going to keep that father lifted up. That father buried his child on the 29th, and I think I seen Nina said she buried a loved one. So I've seen another content creator, I can't remember who it was, but they were saying that they had buried a loved one over the weekend. So like I said, we have so many people that's going through so much. We're going through so much, but we cannot, even though we're broken, everyone, we can't stay broken. We got to allow God, little bit by little bit, to mend our broken heart. Some of us is going to take longer. Some of us, our process may not take as long, because some of us been on our journey a little longer, and we may have some setbacks, and you're going to have some setbacks. So don't think the setbacks not going to. Yes, I think that was his name. He was in here. I didn't see him. I just remember Harold. But like I said, and you all need to know, even in the midst of your heartbreak, even in the midst of you losing your children, the enemy is not I'm going to tell you this. The enemy, just because we're dealing with losses and different things and trauma, the devil don't let up. The enemy of this world don't let up. And that's something that we need to know. And we have to be reminded of that. He don't let up. The devil don't care because you lost your child. The devil don't care because you lost a mom, a aunt, a cousin, a friend. He don't care. All he know, you're a bait for him. You're a bait for him. So now he got this prime opportunity to catch you at your most vulnerable moment when you're weak. And now he say, now I'm gonna break him. I'm gonna try to get him and I'm gonna break him. Because his whole agenda is to steal, kill, and destroy. And we need to know that the devil himself is not gonna stop. He's not gonna let up till he accomplish what he set out to do. And that's to steal, kill, and destroy. And he does not care who he used to do it. He don't care. When that happened to my son, that came to destroy me. It came to take me out. It came to wipe me out. The devil didn't like me because he knew if I open my mouth and I speak and I share the goodness of God, he knew I got to stop her because she'll be the one to tear my kingdom down. So I'm going to allow something to happen in her life. And when this happened, she'll curse God. She'll curse God. And when that happened to my son, I went to giving God all the praises. And that's what he wants us to do. He wants us to curse God. He wants us to blaspheme God. He wants us to feel that, oh, a loving God shouldn't allow XYZ to happen. Why would a loving God? Because his whole motive, he's combative. He's mad with us because we have these opportunities. We have opportunities to get it right. We have opportunities to make changes in our life, even in the midst of our storms. Even in the midst of it. He didn't get that opportunity. So what he's going to do, he's on a vengeance. He got a plan and a plot for each and every one of our life. And guess what? He don't care. He don't care about who he used to do it, to set us back, to destroy us. It could be people that the closest ones to you. As y'all seen it played out, a person that I grew up with all my life. And look what happened. The same person that I grew up with came to social media, talked about my deceased kid. Betrayed me, don't even know what I did never did anything to the person, talked about my mom, and I'm looking like, well, dang, you know? So it could be somebody closest to you or somebody, do you think that person cared about I lost my son? She didn't care because I lost my kid. She know I lost my kid. And not only that, she talked about my deceased brother too. But at the same time, the same brother that spoke on my deceased child, the same person that spoke on my deceased brother, but they lost a brother too. They have lost loved ones and family members too. Good morning, Ariane. Sorry if I said your name wrong. So when you see the pattern of what's going on, and when you understand your life, and when you see it from how you need to see it, and once you start recognizing the different things that's coming in your life to set you back, to remind you of things that you thought got past, you already know that's a trick of the enemy. You already know that situation or that person is sent on assignment from the enemy to destroy you, to set you back. To set you back. So now you got to put things in position to say, I got to get these people out of my life. I can't continue. I don't care if it's family member, whoever it is. If they're not bringing nothing healthy to your life, to get you through something positive in your life, to help you, or you can build them up and y'all helping each other build each other. You don't need that negativity in your life. You don't need that in your life, and you don't need those people as a person, even if it's your family member, because you're on a journey of trying to heal, because you don't want to be a broken vessel. Good morning, Mackenzie. Because you got to understand, God is the potter and we're just the clay. And when God go to healing on you and opening different things and putting you on a potter's wheel, it don't feel good. I'm not telling y'all to get on the potter's wheel. That's your choice to be on the potter's wheel. But no, you can't dictate how God heal you when you're on that potter's wheel. So I'm not forcing nobody. I'm not forcing nobody to heal. I'm not forcing or telling nobody you got to forgive. That's not my place to do that. I'm just sharing my story, my journey. But when you on the potter's wheel, you cannot tell the potter how to do the pottery of the pot. He may pull you off. You may have a crack in it. He going to have to take you off and start all over again. And you're going to be like, Lord, I thought I was done with this area. Nope, I see a crack there. He gonna come back. He not gonna stop till you heal in that area. He's not gonna stop till you can take a deep breath and you can breathe now and you can freely breathe. And you know when that something come up or something remind you of somebody that wronged you, or the people, or you see the people that was involved. I'm gonna tell you this. One of the guys that's involved with my son, I seen the person. I seen him. He seen me and I seen him. But normally I could feel a rage. Normally I could feel a rage inside of me, the anger inside of me. But when I tell y'all, even when I seen that person haven't did a day in jail behind my son, I didn't feel nothing. I felt God gave me peace in my heart because God knew that day was going to come. When I tell y'all God gave me such a peace, even in the midst of my enemy, a person that was involved had maybe a possibility involved with what happened to my kid. I seen the person. We was in the same area. I seen the person and he seen me. But when I tell you I felt such a peace, I didn't let him steal my peace and I didn't allow him to steal my joy. Because one thing about it, even in the midst of us in each other's presence, you going to feel uncomfortable. You're not going to make me feel uncomfortable that I got to walk away, that I got to feel some type of way. No, I'm going to stand right here. I ain't going nowhere. Can he see you? I don't know what this person right here saying. I don't know what they talking about. But when I tell you, hold on, y'all. But when I tell you God is good, so he will give you the strength to do the impossible. And he don't want you to stay broken because you cannot stay broken. And like I said, sometimes we want to forget about the things that happen. We want to turn a deaf ear. We don't want to be reminded of it. But you got to heal. You got to allow God. You know your secrets. You know certain things that don't happen to you. And you got to go to God with it. Instead of saying, I'ma block it out. I'ma numb myself to it. No, God, I want to be healed here. I don't want to be no longer held hostage to my pain. I don't want to no longer be hostage to a situation. I don't want to be held hostage to something that somebody spoke over my life from my childhood or something that somebody did to me. I don't want to be no longer slave to that. You don't want to be slave to it. You don't want to continue to be held hostage to it. You want to get your strength back and take the strength back from those individuals who have done those things to you. Because I don't want to be held hostage to the people that took my son's life. I know they watch my life. I know they watch my lives and see the things that I post. But I post it because I need them to know I'm healed. And God going to see me through. He's going to get me through. And we're going to talk about the heart. You know, you want that heart to heal. And tell God to give you the heart of flesh. You know, let God creating, creating me a new heart. Ask for a new heart. That old heart, you don't want that heart. And continue to pray and say, Lord, create in me a new heart. I need a new heart. Because this old heart of mine, it done been tampered on. It done been broken. It don't experience rejection. This old heart don't experience some old things. But Lord, I need you to create in me a new heart. But if you ask God to create in you a new heart and get rid of that old heart, he will do that for you. He will do that for you. Ask him to do that. Let him hold your hand. Let him orchestrate your life through whatever you're going through or whatever you have been through. He'll never leave you, nor he'll never forsake you. Whatever you saying back to you. Kapow, whatever you saying back to you. I send it, whatever it is, I send it back to the sender. But God is good. All we got to do is give God the opportunity. He's just waiting on us. We be sitting there waiting on God, and God said, I'm just waiting on you. Some of y'all doing this, Lord, when? When, Lord? Lord, when you gonna do this? Lord, you promised me this. Lord, you promised me that. And the Lord just sitting there looking at you like, I've been here all the time. I never left you. I never forsake you. I'm waiting on you. I'm here with open arms. Come to me. I'll give you rest. If you heavy laden, I will give you rest. I will give you peace. I will give you love. I will give you joy. But we sitting here waiting on God, but God sitting here waiting on us. Hey, Leonard, God is waiting on you. What you waiting on? What you waiting on? We going through with the loss of our family members, our children. We're just going through so much. And God just waiting on us to ask him to help us. We need help, Lord. And like I said, we cannot stay broken. And all of us going through our individual processing. We're going through our individual acceptance. We're going through our individual healing. Do it make any of us better than? No, it's not about us being better than each. We're all going through our healing. And like I said, some of us, it may take us a little longer to get there. But we're going to get to where we need to be. We're going to get there. And guess what we're going to do? We're going to help somebody along the way. That's what we're going to do. You're going to get a fulfillment out of being a help to someone. Even when you're broken. Even when you're going through. Even when I don't understand everything, y'all. I'm not here to say I understand everything. I don't. I can only tell my story. I can only share my walk, my journey of things that I went through and what I experienced and how I went through it, with the help of God, Have I had my moments of screaming and yelling and screaming? If y'all would have met me like maybe 3-4 years ago, y'all would have seen a totally different person. Y'all would have seen a broken, hurt person. You could tell I was hurt, broken, things that would trigger me. And I would come to Facebook and I would be ready to put my hands on somebody. You get what I'm saying? I was a very broken person dealing with, the trauma, like not so much trauma, but brokenness of, from my dad and other things, being people walking away, not understanding, trying to figure out, why people would do me certain ways. So I was a rat kill, y'all. If y'all would have met me on Facebook maybe like 4 years ago, y'all would have been like, dang, that girl crazy. You would be like, you could never refund God. Salvation is free. Salvation is free, baby. That's one thing you ain't got to work for. Nobody have to work for salvation. Jesus did the work for you. All you got to do is pick up your cross and follow him. So reconnecting to God is just you going to God. Reconnecting is just having a personal relationship and just going and saying, Lord, here I am. We just like how Adam and Eve, when God come looking for us, when we had those relationships and we got involved with things and we strayed away, and now we ducking and dodging and we hiding God, and God coming looking for us in the cool of the day. And you saying, God, I'm naked. He said, well, who told you was naked? Because you felt like you missed the mark. Now you feeling bad, but God changed not. So all you got to do is say, Lord, here I am. That's it. He waiting on you. He looking at you, smiling, waiting on you, and you talking about you waiting on him. He's waiting on you. He ain't never left you. Remember, we leave God. God never leave us. The word of God don't change. We have free will, and we all got that free will. And God never left you. We leave him. But wherever you left him at, just go back and rekindle that. Happy Winning Wednesday. Yes, yes, yes. Y'all, let me get out of here. I love everybody and thank you all for sharing and coming in on this live. Baby Johnny, God is real. God is real if you want him to be real. He can heal you if you want him to heal you. That's all I can tell you. The word of God says it's to them that believe. So it's up to you to believe that God can heal you. It's up to you if you believe God is real. So my experience may not be your experience. I may believe God, but because of my testimony, I know God is real because I know the things that I've seen through. You may not feel that God is real. So that's something you got to try. That's something you got to step out on faith and believe into something that you never seen. So that's between you and God. That has nothing to do with me. I can't tell you what to believe and what not to believe. If you still here in this world, it's something. You still breathing. You didn't get here on your own to see how a baby can form in a woman's stomach. Who created that? Somebody had to do it. It didn't just man didn't do it. But it's more than going to church. Anybody can go to church. That's good. Going, I'm not discrediting you for going. But even though you're going to fellowship, you're going to get the word. But even once you leave the building, you are the church. You the church. You the church that enter into a building. You hear a person, but you still have your part to do. You still got to open up your Bible. You still got to get into your word. Because just because somebody's speaking something from the pulpit, you got to go search the scriptures on your own. You got to get in the word. You got to be in tune with God. You got to have your one-on-one relationship. You can't have the pastor relationship, the deacon relationship. You got to have your own personal relationship with God. So God got to come real to you. Because how God may be real to me, he may not be real to you. But that's all based on how I built my personal relationship. And it's all personal. You got to do that. You're the temple. You got to go to God for yourself. So after you leave the building, what you do after you leave the building? What do you continue to do after that? Do you just not read your Bible because you ain't going to church? I haven't read my Bible in a while, but I know better. So God, I'm going to be held accountable because I know better. I know how to get in my word. I know I haven't been praying the way I should pray, how I should pray, and how I know to pray. I'm guilty of that. I haven't been doing it. I haven't been doing it. I'm guilty of that, but I know better. I know better, you know? So hopefully that can help you out. So I'm out of here, y'all. I'm real late right now. But y'all have a good one and you all have a blessed one. And that's right. Our body is the temple. That's why we got to be careful what we do to it. And as we can see, some people temples are being used up by the devil. And we seeing a lot of that take place here. A lot of it. All right, y'all. I'm out of here for real this time. Y'all have a good one. Thank you all my moderators and everyone that's in here, everybody that took the time out this morning to chime in, to get in the chat, engagement, everything. Thank you so much for all the subscribers and all your support. Appreciate you and thank you. And y'all have a winning Wednesday. And Tony voice. All right, y'all be blessed.